All right, everyone. It is Week 12 update. Got it right this time. Let's get right to it. So, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is out of the rankings altogether now, folks. Totally unranked after dropping a hard-fought overtime loss to Northwestern, 43-40 there in Evanston. The Fighting Irish take on number 24 Louisville this week, so it doesn't get any easier as they tune up to come out here on the 29th and lose again. SC, on the other hand, vaulted back into the standings at number 19 after beating Cal 38-30, and it wasn't even that close. This game was over at halftime as Cal struggled back to cover the spread. It was a 14.5-point spread, but they ended up covering at 38-30. USC wins. USC owns Cal, has been that way for decades. They take on number 9. UCLA this week. It's rivalry week here in the City of Angels as number 19 USC takes on number 9 UCLA. It's going to be a great battle. These two teams do not like each other. They recruit against each other. It's going to be a lot of fun over there in the Rose Bowl on Saturday. I would advise you to check out that game. Let's take a look at our league. Smell This dropped a hard-fought one, 137-174 over Swamp Donkeys. Let's talk about Swamp Donkeys for a second. Rick is the high point man in the league. That's a correct statement at 1564. However, Rick owns the second worst record in the league at 2-9. How does one put up so many points yet so few W's? He thinks he's sandbagging. Interesting. Just occurred to me. Anyway, Rick takes it 174-137. Paula's Man Snips gets back on the good foot, 113-106 over Blood, Sweat, and Beer. Gerard Invincible's still having a hard time scoring points as he drops one to Big Blue, 122-63.8. In the battle of sub-100 teams, John David Booty Eaters only puts up 87, but that's enough as Jed only puts up 61. People of Color, 132-129 over the Rednecks. That's the first loss for Dawn in ages. Oh my goodness, this is a red letter week. Dawn finally loses after a 7-game win streak. People of Color looking tough, 132-129, and in our game of the week. Back that pass up, 107 over Blue and Gold, 101. So I think they split the season matchup. Let's hope those two teams. Well, I don't think those two teams have anything to worry about as far as playoffs are concerned. So let's talk about the playoffs. Dawn still sits as number 1 with an 8-3 record, followed by John David Booty Eaters, also 8-3. Number 3 is People of Color at 7-4. Paula's Man Snips at 7-4, and Blood, Sweat, and Beer at 6-5. Rounding out the top 6 is Smell This at 6-5 as well. Jed sitting at number 7. At 6-5, and Back That Pass Up at 5-6 is number 8. We are 2 weeks away from our final, so we got this week coming up, and then the next week, and then our playoffs start week 14 of the NFL regular season. So not much chance to make your move, but there's still some in play as the number 5 and the number 6 teams could easily get bounced out of the playoffs. Let's take a look at the upcoming week. Smell This takes on John David Booty Eaters. This is an important win. It's a must-win for Smell This. It's 121-124 in Alex's favor right now. Manning takes on Miami. Ashlon Jeffries against Tampa Bay. Lamar Miller against Denver. I've got a cover for that Pittsburgh defense. Boy, they were pathetic. I dropped Baltimore to pick them up on Sunday morning, and God, they sucked. Alex has Tom Brady against Detroit. Not a great matchup, but a decent one. Randall Cobb against Minnesota. That's a great matchup. And Fred Jackson against New York Jets. Still, I'm going to give the pick to Smell This. Blood, Sweat, and Beer over Gerard Invincibles. Danny a prohibitive favor over Grandpa, 121-41 right now. Grandpa, you just put Josh McNown in there. Get rid of Brad Gronkowski. He doesn't even start. Put Josh McNown in there, and then cover up on your buys and hope for the best. Danny, Matthew Stafford against New England, Odell Beckham Jr. against Dallas, and T.Y. Hilton against Jacksonville. Danny's got too many guns. She gets the pick. Let's talk about Big Blue versus the Rednecks. This is 115-81 in favor of Dawn right now. Dawn has Drew Brees going against Baltimore, Jordy Nelson against Minnesota, and Larry Fitzgerald, who is back this week against Seattle, but that's not a great matchup. Jonathan Stewart's on bye for you, Dawn. Cam Newton is on bye for Veronica. She needs to cover up there. Jamal Charles is back against Oakland. He should have a big day against the pathetic Oakland Raiders. Did you know over the last 35 games, Oakland Raiders are 5-30? My goodness, they are awful. I'm going to give the pick to Dawn. Let's talk about third down for what versus back that pass up. Rebecca, I need some help this week. I need some help. Tony Romo for Jed takes on the New York Football Giants. Demaryius Thomas against the Dolphins. The Broncos had a terrible day against the Rams, of all people, so I'm looking for a revenge game from Peyton and crew. Even though I feel otherwise, I'm going to give the win to Rebecca because I really need some help here, girl. You know what I'm saying? Knock Jed back down, get him out of 6-5, get him out of playoff contention. I'm a happy boy. It's all about me. We're finally coming to realize that, aren't we, folks? All right, Swamp Donkeys, Rick, versus Blue and Gold, Jake. It's 112-96 right now in favor of Rick. Key matchups are Aaron Rodgers, who was compared to Larry Bird by none other than Magic Johnson this past week on the Twitter. But Aaron Rodgers gets Minnesota. He's projected to get 39. I project he gets 72. A.J. Green against Houston. Le'Veon Bell is on bye this week. Golden Tate against New England. For Jake, Ryan Tannehill against Denver. Who else? John Bell against New England. Ruben Randall against Dallas. Jake has a hole on his defense. I'm going to give the pick to Rick because I think Rick decides when he wants to play. I really think that's the case. I really do. All right. In our game of the week, it's Paula's Man Snips versus People of Color, 2 7-4 teams. It's 137-112 in favor of People of Color right now. Andrew Luck is currently the starter. Didn't he get knocked out last week? I don't see anything next to his name, but I thought he left the game last week. Did he not? Maybe I'm only wishful thinking. Any rate, Andrew Luck gets Jacksonville, Pierre Garçon against San Francisco, Eric Decker against Buffalo, Alfred Morris against San Francisco. Key matchups for Ty. For Ryan, People of Color, Joe Flacco against New England, Jeremy Maclin against Tennessee, Chad Johnson against New England. Chad Johnson finally waking up. Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn, I do not go in at halftime. Lynch is questionable for this week against Arizona, and that's not a great matchup anyway. Arizona, your hottest team in football. I'm going to give the pick to... this is a tough one. I'm going to give the pick to People of Color. It's just how I roll. All right, that's it. Good luck this week. Fight on for the Trojans as they take on UCLA. Everybody needs to be watching that game. Set your DVRs now because you know you're not going to want to miss it. And then we've got the big matchup coming up Thanksgiving weekend as the Fighting Irish come out and earn their second loss or maybe their third loss. I'm not counting, but they're going to lose when they face the Trojans. That's it, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.